All right, we're going to call the Public Power Hour to order. And I'm just going to really as much for the folks live streaming, so set the same ground rules just so down in the future, people watching this, they'll know what they can and can't do. If you'll notice in this meeting, this is only City Council. We have Sharon, our Clerk of Court, Lamar, and J.D. McCauley, our HR Director. They're the only folks here. There are no directors because this is not a formal meeting. We're not voting on anything. We're not making any decisions. This is really an opportunity for us to listen. And the second thing that's important is this is only for any item that's not on the agenda tonight. So we've had once or twice we've had folks come in who wanted to talk to us at the Public Power Hour on an item that is on the agenda, and of course they cannot do that. So I'm just letting folks know this is for any issue, anything that we need to be aware about, good and bad. We're going to get some good stuff tonight, which I'm pretty sure. Keep my fingers crossed. But so good or bad that we need to know about so we can do a better job for citizens. At that point, I'm going to, JD, they've already signed in, I guess, so. Ms. Kathy Martin, would you like to come forward, please? And if you would, just state your name and address for the record.
Happy to do so, Mayor. My name is Catherine Martin, and I live at 19 Crystal Lake Drive here in North Augusta. I used to live across the street from David till he threw me out, so I had to move away from him a little bit. But happy to see you all, and thank you for making time for us. Absolutely. I'm here today to share a bit of information with you, if you don't already know, about the North Augusta Cultural Arts Council that you so kindly fund for us. We certainly appreciate your support, and we would like to share a little bit about what we've been doing with some of the funds that you give us, as well as some of the other funds that we have been able to obtain outside of that. You have some materials in front of you, a brochure, you got the information about where we're located and how to find us, as well as the complete list of the Board of Directors and their email addresses and phone numbers. You probably know a lot of the people that are on that list, besides me and my colleague, Rachel Griffin, who will talk to you in just a minute about some really good news that we have just received. Again, just wanted to say a little bit about who we are and what we are doing. We have, you see the board membership there, we have about 21 individual members, and we have to date 63 family members in the North Augusta Cultural Arts Council as members. We have an annual budget of approximately $20,000, and we do employ one very part-time individual, Ken Smith, to help us keep our records straight and our audits intact. So we're small and we're mighty, and I think that's the way you would like for us to operate. Just wanted to tell you a little bit about some of the things we have coming up. Downstairs, forgot where I was. The Spring Fest will be opening March 17th on St. Patrick's Day. This is our annual art show that we put together for local artists, and so I know that you want to make some time to come for that. We'll have a reception that night from 5 until 8 p.m. That's also St. Patrick's Day, as well as Third Thursday. So we expect a good turnout for that. Please come by when you get a chance, if you can't come that evening, but throughout the month, to see all the good arts pieces that are on display there. We have also had the student art show that has just come down, or getting ready to come down this week. But again, that's some remarkable work from our children in our local schools, and that's supported by our teachers in promoting this opportunity for them. And we also give scholarships to local children who are going into the arts based on our funding and how the stock market's doing, I guess. But we do support our children locally. And then in the spring, from May till July, we have the music and the arts. Music in the park for all of us to enjoy. There is no charge for that, but that's where we earmark our funds from the city this year to go towards those, and we're planning to have 10 this coming year. More on that later. We also host the Prism concert whenever we don't have a pandemic, and that will be in the fall. And we did have our Veterans concert this year in November that was very well attended. We also give grants to our teachers to help support them whenever they have arts projects that, for whatever reason, don't have sufficient funds to execute those. And we're also interested in collaborating more with our city and with our partners to expand our work and to expand your work. For example, the mayor came and shared his thoughts with us about the plans for the city. We're very happy to hear from him. We had a very good turnout. We have a lot of conversations going on.
It was my privilege. Appreciate
you.
the invite. Y'all are great.
Please come back. We'd like to have you do that. In April, Randy Duteau from the Tourism Department will be coming to talk to us specifically about tourism for North Augusta. And in May, we've actually invited our friends from across the river at the Greater Augusta Arts Council to come and share and to see if we can collaborate to expand our mission, therefore. So with that, I'd like to ask Rachel to come and talk to us about the good news we just received.
Hey, so like she said, my name's Rachel Griffin, and if you need my address, it's 211 West Avenue, North Augusta, South Carolina, here, right around the block. So the excellent news that we just received, it started to go public today, is the Brittany and Kevin Kinzer Foundation gave us $10,000 to use here in North Augusta specifically for dance. Anything dancing arts related. So I own the North Augusta School of Dance. We've got Tiptoes and Taps. There's several other groups like the Clogging. Even if Pam at the Wrecking Crew had some dance members there that wanted to use it, anybody can now. It's in the works this month. It should be completed where they can go on our website, upload their information, fill out an application, and we can get them some of this grant money to help with the dance program here in North Augusta. So $10,000 was very generous for them to give that to us to get this started here in North Augusta. So we're super excited about
You
that.
said it's Kevin Kisner, the golfer, right?
Yes,
Okay,
Kevin
just make sure I
Kisner, the
understood
golfer.
what you
Yep.
said, okay.
Yep,
Awesome.
Brittany and Kevin Kisner, it's
Yeah.
their foundation that gave that. Yep.
Now, let me ask, just for my wrecking crew,
Yes.
is this like they go to like, let's say you're the studio, and this would be money they would get to pay
Yes.
their way to it?
Exactly. So if she had somebody there that needed some financial assistance to do an extracurricular activity like dance, this money is put strictly for dancing arts. So if they go online, fill out their application with all of their information, explain what it is they want to use the money for, then we can get the money straight over to them to do that. Yep.
I just wanted to make one quick comment.
Sure.
You know, I grew up here. I was a sports kid. I never understood the arts. I've got a daughter that's leaving in August to go to SCAD, so she has sang.
Awesome.
She has sang at the North Augusta Choir with the St. John Choir downtown. She was in the North Augusta High School band, and she's never had a formal art lesson, but she sent her portfolio to SCAD, and they accepted her. So I do appreciate what y'all do. It's not my cup of tea, but you know, there's a lot of people that say, "Hey, arts and dance or music or whatever." So I think it's a great thing that y'all are doing. I know Mary Ann encouraged Katie, I guess 2020 when they did the student art show.
Yes, yes.
Mary Ann saw a couple of her pieces like, "Katie, you need to put this in here." So it is a really good thing that y'all do, and I just wanted to say I do appreciate it.
Well, thank you. We appreciate you guys and everything y'all do. Yeah.
Do you have any other questions for us?
I'm just impressed. This is the right way to do it. Thank you.
Let us know how we can support the things that you are planning so that we are coming together collaboratively as a community.
And
Kathy, what did you tell me? You've got 63 family members who are members of the Cultural Arts Council. How many individuals?
21,
21, okay.
and that number will grow. This is just March.
And the music in the park, 10 is new. Is that, have you always done 10?
We haven't done that many in the last couple of years, but we have done 10 in the past. So we are moving in that direction to get back to 10, but that's the commitment we made this year.
I don't know if I mentioned to you when I spoke to you, my sister who lives in Augusta, she came to one of them, and she got so excited. She was texting people, "You're not going to believe what North Augusta has." And she brought some people over next one. So it's fantastic. Thank y'all.
Thank you. Appreciate your help.
Yes, thank
This is
you.
great. Thank y'all so much. Do we have anybody else? Hey.
Hi,
How
Janice
are you?
Kraus, Bluebird Crazy Lady.
Yes.
No, I'm the champion for the Bluebirds on the Greenway, and we're adding boxes as we speak. We are up to 36, soon to be 39 boxes, nest boxes for the Bluebirds, and it's quite an accomplishment to be doing that. But anyway, we have 5 monitors now that help out volunteers, and it's an exciting project.
Well, they look great. The two newest ones you've added right when you take a right from the activity center before you get the little workout in the little exercise area.
Oh, right.
Those look great.
Good.
And we're gonna do one in honor of my wife's mother, so memory. So anyway,
I
great.
forgot
Thank
to say,
you.
my name is Janice Kraus.
Yep.
I live at 126 East Spring Grove.
Tell us a little bit about this. Was this part of an initiative from Barbara Green or just?
Well, it's in Barbara Green's name, and
Okay.
Susan Askey, Barbara's daughter, knew about a trail that was in Charlotte, and I was a member of the Bluebird Society. Barbara Rose knew Susan Askey, so it's kind of like we started talking one day about, wouldn't it be cool to put some Bluebird boxes on the Greenway? So it was back in 2015 we started with 10, and then we added a few here and there, and then we added more people and more boxes, and now we're adding more people and more boxes. We're still doing it.
How many do you have now?
36.
36. Just on the Greenway though, right?
Oh, well, there's a few on the brick, down by the brick ponds,
Okay.
but
Thank you,
yeah,
36.
it's,
Yeah, there's a good bit of them and kind of a high demand right now. And we actually have one in Ethan's name too. I forget exactly where it's at, but it's
I
out
think
there.
yours
Yeah,
is,
it's on that swinging bitch area between the Hammonds
right,
area gap.
yeah.
And if folks are interested who are watching this on live stream, they need to reach out to Mike McCauley, North Augusta Forward.
Well,
How do we do that?
we sort of closed it down in February, and because we had a lot of requests, and we need monitors to do the boxes, so
Okay.
unless we get more monitors, we're sort of at an impasse right now. We'll go up to 39, including 3 more at the brick ponds, but then we have to shut it out for the year. Next year, we'll do it again. Bluebird season started March 1st, so we wanted to be in place for the season.
Y'all posted something, you're still taking them till you get 39, right?
Well, no, we've got the 39.
Oh, you have a 39? Okay.
If we have somebody that's just,
Okay.
pleading, we'll try to accommodate, but it's been pretty interesting. We're on round 2 now because we did 13 more, now we're doing 3 more than that, so. Anyway, the reason I'm here is because I wanted to talk about pedestrianism, which I know is a focus for North Augusta because of the signs that are now on Georgia Ave going across at West Pine Grove, East Pine Grove.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm on East Spring Grove, and I ride my bicycle down to do the Bluebird Trail monitoring once a week. And I ride more than that, but I go down. Our east side doesn't have very good access to get to the Greenway. I used to live in Hammond Hills. We had much better access for West Side people, I mean, I used to go to the Riverview Park Activity Center to get on the Greenway. It was real easy. But to go down Brookside and cross over Buena Vista at the light by the fire station, so we're going down by the community center, crossing Buena Vista, right there. There's a blinking yellow
Right,
light
yes.
and red light. Okay, but that doesn't change. It's just always that way for the emergency vehicles. And the crosswalk, one crosswalk there, is on the wrong side for someone coming from Brookside to cross over because you're going into oncoming traffic. So there's no crosswalk on the far right, and there's a crosswalk on the left. And then a lot of my friends that bicycle go all the way down through the community center parking lot and cross over down there at, I guess that's Ponce de Leon or Riverview, Riverside. Okay. And that's, I mean, speeding on, Buena Vista is pretty impressive. And the visibility is impressive too, because people come over that hill and then people are coming from the other way. So whichever way you're going, it's difficult. So my question is there some way we could put pedestrian signs also down there, add another crosswalk, make it more accessible for those of us who want to get to the Greenway from the east side of town?
Well, I'll take a couple things. First of all, you're the first time, and I've never noticed it, that the crosswalk we currently have is is not correct. So
Can I chime in real quick, Britton, on that crosswalk? So the crosswalk that currently there is more for walkers and runners because they're going against traffic, but the cyclists have to go with traffic. So the crosswalk that is there is walker-runner friendly because you're going in the right direction, but if you're a cyclist, you're on the other hand side of the road.
Yeah, 'cause you're
And
supposed to be
Janice
going
brought
with
this up to me a
traffic.
couple
for
weeks ago.
cycling, it's incorrect
For
if
cycling,
you're
it's
walking.
incorrect. Walking and running, it's
All right,
correct.
so the other thing is that road is owned by South Carolina DOT. So to answer your question, we personally can't do anything, but we will look into that. And if that is something that does make sense and we need to do, we can submit that to SCDOT. So I was not aware of that, so this is exactly what the Public Power Hour is all about. Thank
Okay.
you, Janice.
Yes.
You've done good.
It's great.
This is great, okay? So we will look into that and see exactly what we need to do.
Okay, and then, you know, what's over at Pisgah, where there's a button that you actually push to get the light to change, and you then can cross safely. Something like that might be something to also think about for the future, for those of us that don't want to die crossing the street. Okay?
Okay. Very good. That's very good. Thank you. I learned something. Okay. We'll definitely look into that. All right. All right. I'm gonna give it 4 more minutes. I don't think anyone else is, everybody, these gentlemen I know are for the later meetings, so, we'll give it 4 minutes and we'll call it. That'll give everybody a chance to take a break. You come speak again, that makes you a veteran. You've already been once. We don't give out prizes though. I'm gonna go ahead and call it. All right, we're gonna go ahead and stand adjourned for the public power hour. Thanks. Good evening. I'd like to call the March 7th, 2022 City of North Augusta regular city council meeting to order. At this point, we will do our invocation pledge of allegiance. You're welcome to join me in prayer. Dear God, I ask that you be with this council as we begin our meeting. Give us guidance on your perspective and the right priorities as we do the work of the city. I ask that you give each of us discernment, open hearts, and ears as we strive to honor you in our decisions in order to make North Augusta a great place to live. Amen. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance. Okay, we'll do our roll call, going from my left, please.
Eric Presnell.
David McGee.
Pat Carpenter.
Britton Williams.
Bob Brooks.
Jennifer McCauley.
Kevin Toole.
Okay, item 4, approval of minutes. Are there any additions, corrections, or deletions to the regular city council meeting minutes of February the 7th, 2022, or the study session minutes of February 28th, 2022? Okay, hearing none, they stand as distributed. Thank you. Okay, we've got a number of items under unfinished business. We're going to jump right in. First is item 5, zoning, ordinance number 2022-02, to amend the zoning map of the city of North Augusta, South Carolina by rezoning plus or minus 8.34 acres of land owned by SC North Augusta Buena Vista LLC, Aiken County tax parcel numbers 007-12-009, 007, 006, 005 from GC General Commercial to PD Plan Development Ordinance. This is second reading. Do I have a motion to approve this ordinance on second reading?
So moved.
Okay, Mr. Presnell, is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Brooks? All right, anything you'd like to share about this, Mr. Clifford?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. So there are 2 items that are on the agenda for this evening that are linked. Items number 5 and 6. This is item number 5. And so if you refer to your map in front of you, you have a number of red parcels that are northeast of Bluegrass PD that front Martintown Road. And so these are the parcels in question. In order to make this all part of a planned development is to convert those from general commercial to PD. And there'll be a second ordinance that has to do with the overall type of PD or the approval of that PD for you on the next ordinance to read. But essentially what this does is allow them to convert all that space into the planned development they're seeking to have.
Okay, very good. Okay, any citizen comments concerning just this particular ordinance? There's 2 of them, just this one. Okay, any council discussion? Hearing none, I'll ask for a vote. All in favor? And that is unanimous. Thank you. Okay. Item 6, Planning and Development. Ordinance number 2022-03 to approve the general development plan for the 51.83 plus or minus acres Bluegrass Place Plan Development on East Martintown Road and East Buena Vista. Do I have a motion to approve this ordinance on second reading? All right, Mr. Presnell, second. Ms. Carpenter. All right, anything you'd like to share about this one, Ms. Clifford?
Mr. Mayor, I know this was the subject of a robust discussion at the last study session, and so ultimately this ordinance would allow for the general development plan for the Bluegrass PD, which was on the map on your previous ordinance, with the change that it does not have connectivity into the neighborhood behind the elementary school. So ultimately, the PD would go forward as it was in the last reading, which does not connect the 2 neighborhoods, which was the point of the discussion at the last study session and council meeting.
Golden Street.
That's correct, sir.
Okay, very good. Okay, any citizen comments? Okay, yes, sir. Yeah, come on down, come on down. I know you've done this once before, but just state your name and record, and address for the record one more time.
Sure. Justin Pilcher. I'm at 513 Goldman Street.
All right, Justin, go ahead now.
So basically, we're just still not connected to two, right?
Yes, this motion does not include connecting to Goldman.
Okay, because yeah, like kids out in the street and everything, we just don't need all that mess there. So
Yeah. We amended that in the last one, and that's what's in this.
all right, thank you.
All right, thank you, Justin. Appreciate it. Any other citizens' comments? Okay, council discussion?
I would just like to say that, that I disagree with us not creating a connectivity with Golden Road. I think that we'll be looking at this in the future, and it's going to come back because there won't be any access. It just doesn't make sense to me not to put it there for the school traffic and the occupants that's going to be living in that neighborhood to be able to access an easy way to the school, not only for cars but for walking, for kids walking to school and things like that. It just doesn't make sense for them to go all the way down a busy road, Buena Vista Avenue, and have to walk or ride a bike to get to school. So I'm just gonna voice my opinion on that.
You're allowed to.
Hopefully, I won't be saying I told you so, but we'll see.
Anybody else?
I want to ask the young man with the bluegrass, yes. Do you, and this may be a premature question, but what will be the rental price of an apartment there?
My name's Robert Wright, 24 Turkey Roost Court, Hendersonville, North Carolina. Your question's premature. We have an apartment developer we're working with that we've done a number of projects with, and they are working on their plans now, and I haven't heard anything about rental rates at this point. Sorry, thank you.
That's all right, thank you. Okay. Any other comments concerning this from discussion from council? Okay, then I'm gonna ask for a vote. All in favor, raise your hand. All right, that is, I can't tell if yours is, okay. Thank you. That is 4 yeses and 5 yeses and 2 noes. You threw me with this. I just wasn't sure if you were being, fancy. Okay. All right, pass 5-2. Okay. Item number 7, ordinance number 2022-04, to authorize the city to enter into a First Amendment to the Master Development Agreement of March the 15th, 2017 for the North Augusta Riverside Village. Do I have a motion to approve this ordinance on second reading? Okay, Mr. Presnell, second.
Second.
All right, Mr. Toole, thank you. Anything you'd like to share about this, Mr. Clifford?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, as we've discussed in previous study sessions, what the city is seeking to do is to extend the current terms of the Master Development Agreement for 1 year. So the previous Master Development Agreement was a 5-year agreement. This allows for us to have a more responsive ability to look at development inside Riverside Village. I think it's economically beneficial to extend the MDA as we have it, but I think we also need to be able to have a more limited time frame for an off-ramp, and I think 1 year is the appropriate time based on our discussions with legal counsel.
Okay, very good, thank you. Any citizen comments? Okay, any council discussion? All right, here none, I'll ask for a vote. All in favor, and that is unanimous. This is now new business, item 8, ordinance number 2022-05 to abandon a portion of a water line easement located in Rushing Waters Phase 2 subdivision. Do I have a motion to approve this ordinance on first reading?
So moved.
Okay, Ms. McCauley, thank you. Second? Second. Mr. Brooks, thank you. Anything you'd like to share about this, Mr. Clifford?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, this is a bit of housekeeping, if you will, that the water line that goes into Rushing Waters, which you're familiar with over on 5 Notch Road, they've not needed that location to put the water line, and so this is to abandon that right-of-way, if you will, for, for that access to the water line, because it's not going to be there. So essentially, this is really a planning and development housekeeping item, so we're not laying claim to land that we don't need to get access to. And this is in your attachment number 8 in your packet.
Yep. Okay, thank you. Any citizen comments? Okay, any council discussion? All right, then I'll ask for a vote. All in favor? And that is unanimous. Thank you. Item 9, resolution number 2022-11, authorizing the city to enter into a contract with South Carolina North Augusta Buena Vista LLC related to the construction of a stormwater and drainage improvement project extending across the area from Martintown Road to Buena Vista Avenue on a parcel property containing 50.86 acres currently under contract to South Carolina North Augusta Buena Vista LLC. Do I have a motion to approve this resolution? All right, Mr. Presnell, second, Ms. Carpenter, thank you. Mr. Clifford?
Mr. Mayor and Council, this is something we discussed in the study session, but for the viewers at home and here in the room, essentially what we have here is a stormwater project through this development that lies between East Martintown Road and East Buena Vista. This was a voter referendum item in Capital Project Sales Tax 4 as a required stormwater project. And if you go down by where the current public safety headquarters is, you'll see there's a fair amount of silt and debris that rolls into the creek there and then ultimately deposits into the golf course further south of that. And that comes from the water that flows off of Martintown Road through that property, causing a bit of a gully and picking up sediment and dropping it further down through the systems. So it's to the city's interest to do this. This has been a project that's been identified for several years and was a taxpayer referendum item as well. And so what we're doing in this particular case, in order to spur development through that sector, is we're going to allow for a contract so the developer can do the stormwater improvements for the city, and we will reimburse them for no more than $600,000, which is what the project was listed at in Capital Project Sales Tax 4.
Very good. Okay, thank you. Any citizen comments? Okay, any council discussion?
Only thing, just for clarification, and again, for the folks out in the audience and on the internet, we're capping it at $600,000, and the developer is responsible for anything over and above that to cover to make sure that it's completed.
That's the way the resolution is written, Councilman.
Just confirming.
My other comment was, this one, we don't have a design yet, right? It's still got to be designed.
That's correct, Councilman, but those designs will still have to be run through our Department of Public Works with Tom Zeser and his team.
Okay.
Just saying that we have approval authority on all design. That has to come through us and us approve it. And we do not pay till we approve the completion of the project and are prepared to accept it.
So, well, on that note, do we have design input as far as, because they could just do an open culvert, I'm assuming, or am I missing something on that?
Yeah, since we have the right to approve it, I mean, they obviously are going to talk with us.
And that'll be up to Tom?
Yeah.
Okay.
Their current plans, Councilman, at least from our initial discussions with them, it involved, a large pipe, not an open box,
Okay.
Design, at least currently. And certainly our desire would be to have that piped.
Exactly. Thank you.
Good questions. Anything else, council discussion? Okay, I'll ask for a vote. All in favor? And that is unanimous. Thank you. Okay, item 10 is a resolution number 2022-12, a resolution to obligate $11,871,089.22 in coronavirus state and local fiscal recovery funds. Do you have a motion to approve this resolution?
So moved.
Okay, Mr. Toole, a second.
I'll second.
All right, Mr. McGee, thank you. Anything you'd like to share about this, Mr. Clifford?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. So this is a council action to essentially put they call it the SLURF funds, state and local fiscal recovery funds, into basically two buckets. And so what you'll see in the resolution really is what we've been colloquially calling a standard deduction of $10 million, which can be used for revenue replacement under the Department of Treasury's final rule. And then the remainder of those dollars would go towards a wastewater project or infrastructure project is lined out in your resolution. So essentially, we're putting that money to two bins, the $10 million general government expenditure bin to do revenue replacement, and then the remaining $1.871 and 89 cents or $89 to a infrastructure project, specifically in our case looking towards the interceptor project for our wastewater down by Hammond Hills down into the Hammond's Ferry area. So that's really essentially what this resolution does, is puts it in two buckets.
Yep. Okay, very good. All right, thank you. Any citizen comments? All right, any council discussion? Okay, I'll ask for a vote. All in favor? That is unanimous. Thank you. Item 11, resolution number 2022-13, a resolution authorizing expenditures of coronavirus state and local fiscal recovery funds. This is expense request 1. Do I have a motion to approve this resolution?
So moved.
Mr. Brooks, a second? All right, that was, I think Mr. Presnell beat you to that, Ms. McCauley. Yeah, well, I can hear the voice, but I can hear the buzzer. This is right on my screen. Okay, anything you'd like to share about this, Mr. Clifford?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. So for this is the first item before you that involves actually the allocation of funds out of the ARPA money or the SLURF to projects. And so I don't know if we can scroll forward to your Appendix A, but it lines out two significant projects, one more fiscally significant than the other. So one project outlines just under $4 million, $3,935,004.22 is the maximum ceiling for the wastewater interceptor project. It's possible we'll be applying for grants and for other offsets. So if we do that, that will free up those dollars back into the fund for other uses for ARPA. But right now, that's the ceiling that we're setting for the wastewater interceptor project, and that's something we've discussed in a previous study session, and it's also in your council packet. And this would be a combination from a funding perspective of the $1.8 million and change in the one bucket and the remainder of that money coming out of the $10 million revenue replacement bucket. So that's the major project that's here for your consideration today, with the second project being a smaller project of $30,000 to go into the facade improvement fund for businesses. So that fund has now been fully depleted, and we have pretty strong interest both from North Augusta 4, the Merchants Alliance, and also from the Chamber of Commerce about being able to refund money into that program so other businesses can take advantage of it. So we have that for your consideration here as well.
Okay, thank you. Any citizen comments? Okay, any council discussion?
Jim, one question. So I know this is call it a $4 million project, and we're allocating about 1.8. Is this enough to get it started, or do we got to wait for all the funds, or is that kind of a James Sutton question?
So, Councilman, my understanding here is, we're actually, through this action, allocating all of the $3.935 million for this project. It just comes out of, we completely deplete the one bin, and then we start dipping into the $10 million bin to finish it out.
Okay, so there's enough to go ahead and get it done. I mean, that's...
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
We have received 5.8 of our 11 some odd million.
That's correct. So
there's still a buffer in there from that. Okay.
That's correct, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. And just so citizens will know, all expenditures moving forward, just like this, will come to us for approval, and whatever that looks like.
and I think we discussed it in the study session, but also for our citizens, the wastewater project in particular was actually a voter referendum item under capital project sales tax 4. The reason we've accelerated that project into an ARPA line is because of some failures in the wastewater line that are imminent and urgent and need immediate attention. So this will allow us to not have unpleasant surprises about our sewer lines collapsing, here along the city easements. I'm sorry.
Okay, very good. Any other council discussion?
On the facade improvement, what is the match from the business owner?
It's a 1-to-1 with a maximum grant of $5,000. So if the business owner has a project, let's say it's $20,000, they still only get the max of $5,000.
We're not Newberry yet. Okay, good questions. Any other council discussion? Okay, then I'll ask for a vote. All in favor? And that is unanimous. Thank you. All right, item 12, resolution number 2022-14, accepting a deed of dedication for an off-site sanitary sewer line from Havenwood Camellia LP, along with a maintenance guarantee and cash deposit. Do I have a motion to approve this resolution?
So moved.
All right, Mr. Toole, a second.
I'll second.
All right, Mr. McGee, thank you, sir. Mr. Clifford?
Again, this is a routine item that's here before the council. This concerns the senior living apartments there on Knox Avenue, further up the street from the Chick-fil-A, on the same side of the street. I think this is a good project, and ultimately, this is something that has staff recommendations behind it.
Any citizen comments? All right, council discussion.
Yes, on the maintenance guaranteed and cash deposit, amount of $1,200. I mean, that's enough.
Yeah, that's a basic.
For that size project, yes, ma'am.
Okay, good question. Any other council discussion? I'll ask for a vote. All in favor? And that is unanimous. Thank you. Okay. Any administrative reports?
No, sir.
Okay. And we're now at item 14. This is presentations, communications, recognition of visitors. So it's great to see folks out there tonight, and I would just open this up. This is an opportunity if there are any citizen comments concerning any matters not listed on this agenda. We'd love to hear you talk to us. So this is your time for you to come on up. Okay. I've got one final thing to close out on the council comments. Is there any other comments from any council? Pat, you good? Mr. President?
Well, I'm sure everybody knows, but our girls lost in the final by 4 points, but they had a great season.
Overtime, right?
Yeah, and that would have been a 5-time repeat for state champions. So just to both the basketball teams, they did very well this year.
Well, since we're talking about basketball, that's my love. But no, Paul Knox Middle School, and no one's really sort of recognized this to them, but they have won the district, I don't know what, they won their league and then the championship, and they have also done that for 2 years straight, undefeated the whole 2 years.
This is boys, girls?
Boys and girls.
This is for
At
middle
Paul
school?
Knox Middle School, yes. So I want to pat them on the back, and I mean, that's what's feeding into that North Augusta High School right there.
Congratulations.
Winning states.
That's fantastic.
But now, that's been almost a month ago, but just congratulations to them, too.
We have some great feeders coming to the high school program, so we should be on top for a while.
Yeah. The only thing I'll say before we end, I just wanted to send a congratulations to one of our citizens, Don Smith. Don is the North Augusta Chamber of Commerce Citizen of the Year. And for folks who don't know Don, he actually represented this community for 10 years in the State House, district seat number 83. Great Christian man. He served our city. He coached back when our fields were Mealing Field, which is now North Augusta Elementary. So Don just has given so much of his life to North Augusta and coaching and sports. And I just wanted to shout out Don Smith. Well done by the chamber to recognize Don Smith as our Citizen of the Year. So we're proud of him. And with that being said, great to see everybody. Thanks for coming, but we stand adjourned.